But the other thing we're going to talk about is, you mentioned about the girl in Dunkin' Donuts. Okay? What was your question?
I didn't understand the conversation.
You didn't understand the conversation. Okay. I'm going to skip one chapter, but I'm actually going to read what he's speaking about, if that's okay. Okay. It says, unless someone like you cares an awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And that's from Dr. Seuss, my favorite quote. It's less than 12 hours since I vaguely remember saying goodbye to my father. I am now arriving back at Haverstraw, where I'm on my way to spend the day with Jess. My mind makes a mental note that I forgot to thank Patty, a good friend who stayed with Jess so Beja and I could say goodbye to my father together. Before I head out to Helen Hayes, I want to go down the road and get a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts. I'm running late. I know the round trip will probably take 15 minutes, factoring the traffic, the line of Dunkin' Donuts, and me needing to be able to finish drinking the coffee before I can bring it into Jess's room. I decide to go anyway. Something's just telling me to go. I get in my car and I head to Dunkin' Donuts. A 1 mile trip takes less than 3 minutes. There is no traffic. I get out of my car and I enter the store. It's empty. It's 6:55 a.m. and there's not a soul in Dunkin' Donuts getting coffee. Life is different in Haverstraw. Back downstate in New York, if I entered the Dunkin' Donuts at 6:55 a.m. and it was empty, I would immediately vacate the premises, fearing that there were hostages being held in the back room somewhere. There is one person working in a store, a vibrant 30-something-year-old young lady who immediately greets me with, "Hi, my name is Wanda. Isn't today a great day?" I nod, as small talk by my nature doesn't come naturally to me. "You're not from around here, are you?" she says with confidence. "No, I'm not," I respond, still not opening up to her. There is some silence. I feel that I have hurt her feelings with my short answers, so I ask her out of guilt, "How did you know I wasn't from around here?" She smiles, which makes me seem like I caught on to the fact that whether I liked it or not, that I wasn't going to get my coffee until I had a conversation with her. "You're a Triple H person," she says, as if she's putting the pieces together as she is saying this. "I'm a what?" "A Triple H person. A Helen Hayes on the Hill person." She accused me in the meaning of her acronym. "You have a loved one at Helen Hayes, right?" She asked me for confirmation. "Who is it?" She asked me if it really means something to her. "It's my daughter," I say, choked up. "What is her name?" Wanda asks. "Her name is Jessica," I proudly say. "What a beautiful name. Do you know what Jessica actually means?" My first thought is, who is this girl? Which I don't say to her. My second thought, which I vocalize, is, no, I actually don't know what Jessica means. "It means she knows," she says. "She knows," she says again. How did you know I was a Triple H person?" I now ask, opening up to her. "Well, you have the look," Wanda says to me. "You see, I had the same look a few years back when my brother was at Helen Hayes after a motorcycle accident." There was a brief silence, and then Wanda says to me, "It hurts, doesn't it?" My chin quivers, and I hurry to say, "Yes, it does," before I have to step away to hide my tears. I fear to know how her brother is doing right now, being that she didn't offer, I don't bring it up. "Remember, she knows," she says again. "Thank you," I say. I take my coffee and I drive back to Helen Hayes. The round trip wound up taking 15 minutes, but for much better reasons than traffic and crowds. I walk into the lobby at Helen Hayes, and even though I'm running late, I make a detour to the gift shop in the lobby as some pajamas with a motivational saying on them catches my eye in the window as they look very unique. I head to the back of the store to find the unique pajamas. Instead, I find a pregnant woman visibly upset with the look. "Hi, my name is John," I totally say against my nature. "Are you okay?" "Hi, John, my name is Bridget, and I am not okay. Well, thank you for asking." Some silence fills the air. "What loved one do you have here?" I ask. "My husband. How about you?" "My daughter." "It hurts, doesn't it?" I vulnerably share with her. "Yes, it does," Bridget says, "but it hurts less now." Bridget smiles. We both separate from the back of the store and head our separate ways. I wind up not getting the motivational pajamas that I saw in the window, and I head up to Jess's community room. I'm sitting beside Jess. I'm sitting bedside with Jess, holding her hand while Bridget walks into the room. She sits down next to her husband, and she moves his hand and places it on her lap. After a few moments, Bridget picks up her head. She sees me across the room and recognizes me from the gift shop. She smiles and silently mouths, "Thank you." Bridget has a new look. You ask what that conversation actually meant. It was a few things. First thing it meant is that you can have a very big impact by doing something very nice, just a total stranger. And you have every opportunity to do that every single day. Imagine if 3 or 4 times a day somebody did something nice for you who didn't even know you. Maybe complimenting you on the way you look, or the fact that you did well on a test, or did something, whatever the case may be. And they took the time out to help you, and they didn't even know you. That'll make your day better. And when you do that, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do the same thing. So when you do the same thing, then that person feels uplifted, and they do the same thing. And it keeps going on and on and on. And if you ever heard of a random act of kindness, well, that's the same situation. So I was going into this Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I wanted no part of anyone at this present time. All I wanted to do was get a cup of coffee and go on and see my daughter. There happened to be nobody in the store, and we started to have this conversation. But this lady could very easily have said, "Here's your coffee, goodbye, see you later." But she took the time out. She recognized something. She saw something. She saw something in me that was probably in her a few years back. Her brother was rehabilitating in Helen Hayes, and she saw the look is just sort of like you're kind of in a fog. And she saw that, and she asked questions, and she gave me something uplifting. And when she told me that she knows, every day when you go into the hospital and you have somebody who's not communicative, you wonder if they know. And you wonder if you're getting through to that person. So what she gave to me was the confidence and the belief that she does know. And that lifted me. So when I went into the gift shop, my nature is, I'm very quiet by nature. I talk a lot when I start, but to get me to start talking is very, very difficult. If we sat next to each other on an airplane for 20 hours, I would say 0. But I reached out and saw another person who I thought was in the same situation, and just let her know that I understood what she was going through. Now that person, your belief at the worst of times was most important. So that conversation of what that lady at Dunkin' Donuts was really about you have a major impact on every person that you meet. And if you just basically did a little nice thing for somebody, people are going to think you're weird at first. Okay, I started doing this. I call pebbles. I just drop a pebble in the water. What happens when you drop a pebble in the water? It just kind of, the water just kind of ripples, right? And it just got more and more ripples, right? I drop it, I call it just dropping a pebble. If I walk up to you and say, "Wow, you look good today," makes you feel good, right? Right? You get a compliment. Imagine if people compliment you 4, 5, 6 times a day, right? Everyone's against bullying, right? Right? Well, the way you're going to go away from bullying is you compliment people. Be the complimenter, okay? People might think you're weird or whatever, but I guarantee you that that person is going to do something nice for somebody else. And actually, by me complimenting you, it's going to come back to me. Would he ever bully me if I said, "You know what, that's a great shirt"? He may, okay, but I'm telling you, if I do it over and over and over again, he's going to say, "This is a nice kid. This is a nice guy. I'm not going to treat him, like a jerk." And you make that other person feel weird. So the niceness keeps spreading. So that's the whole conversation of that happened at Dunkin' Donuts was when I least expected it. Somebody did something nice to me to pick me up, that I realized that the same thing I did was pick somebody else up and it made their life better also.